Happy birthday, Sandra, my dear friend, for many, many, many years. I can't believe that we are both almost 80, and all of our other dear friends are almost 80 too. We've been friends since the 3rd grade. That's a long time. During those early years, when we went in elementary school, Miss Crawford was our favorite teacher, and she made us learn lots of poems and lots of songs. And I don't know whether you remember the famous fight between Miss Crawford and Miss Fleming, the other teacher. And then I wonder if you remember how all of us misbehaved terribly in the 7th grade, except for Shirley, when we had Mr. McConnell as our teacher. We had developed a nice group of friends by that time, and so every Friday we got together at somebody's house, and we had hamburgers and hot dogs, and then we played kick the can and hide and seek and every other kind of game you can imagine, and we were all unbelievably good. Nobody ever did anything bad. The only tiny bad thing we did was the time we went skinny dipping in your pond, and your mother was very upset about that. And later, you were the only one in our group that got a car, and you got a blue Plymouth, and we were all just thrilled with your car. And I was especially thrilled because you volunteered to come by and pick me up to go to school every day. And I was, after years of riding on the school bus, I was thrilled to death to ride to school with you in your blue Plymouth. I remember occasions when we did homework at your house, and we spent a good deal of time giggling because we could not imagine how in the world algebra would help us in the future, but somehow we did it. I also remember the awful piano recitals that we had to have every year, and how Ms. Long was so thrilled when everybody performed moderately well. But I remember one time when I did not do well, I ran away. But anyway, we survived that. And then I remember too that you came to everybody's Sunday school class occasionally. And so, and then finally graduation came, and we were, since we had been told by all of our parents that we had to do well in school, every one of us, all of us were in the top 20. So I think we did well. This is chapter 1. We'll have chapter 2 in a minute.
Okay.
Hello, Sandra. This is the second part of the videos that I'm sending for your birthday present. This is, I guess, the second chapter of our years of friendship. After high school, college and marriage and children came. Carl and I built our log home in Ringgold, Georgia in approximately 2006. You and I got back in touch after a long time of being away from each other, since we were living near. You lived in Waleska, and that was fairly close to Ringgold. I remember that I went to a big party at your house, and I was just charmed with your house and the big room downstairs that was my bedroom. Carl died in 2013. I was devastated, and you and Bill, whom you had married by this time, came or volunteered to come and help me go through the first several weeks without him. managed to get myself together, and eventually, instead of you coming to see me, I went to see you, and that was the best thing, because we managed to laugh some. We certainly enjoyed a good bit of wine, and I really adored that visit. Several visits later, we went to visit Tate, Georgia, where my father had grown up and where he had his very first job in the marble mine. And you and I sat on the porch of the Tate mansion in the rocking chairs, and we were talking about what it was like to grow up in that area in the early years of the 20th century. I think I have already sent you a picture of us in rocking on the front porch. The next time you were super kind to me was when I fell and broke my arm. And after I had been in the rehab center for 6 weeks, you and Bill again volunteered to come and take care of me here in Florida, all the way from up there in North Georgia. I especially appreciated that offer, but you would have had absolutely nothing to do, and by that time I was better. Then, the best thing, I needed a dog, desperately. And you told me that your dear granddaughter, Renee, had a big dog whose name was Lance, who everyone thought was a chocolate lab. I had never had a male dog before. I had never had a big dog before. But after looking at all the dogs in the shelters around here, I decided that I would attempt to be Lance's mama. So Richard Kaiser and I came to your house to pick up Lance. We drove and got to Renee's house in Dunwoody, and we met Lance, and he was okay. Come here, Lance. Come here. Get up here. Come on. Come on. Get up here. Come here. Come here. Look at Richard. Look at Richard. Look at Richard. Lance is a wonderful dog. He, in spite of the fact that he's not very obedient now, he has gone through 3 obedience classes and is going to be a star at flyball. Thank you for, I guess, the best gift that you have ever given me, this dog. And thank Renee too. Sandra, such a good friend. There are not many people in the world that are as good as you are, and I'm so grateful that we have been friends all these years. I hope you have a very happy birthday. Love, Martha. This is my 3rd attempt to make this video. I'm glad that Richard was here yesterday and helped make the other one. I forgot something really important in the first video that I made for you yesterday. I had planned to just mention our 16th birthday party, which we enjoyed very much. Do you remember that we all dressed up in our evening dresses? And as I recall, we had it at my house, and it was part inside and part outside. We had a patio, and then we had the music room, and the music room was where this piano that you see in the background was. But as I recall, we had a good time. We danced a lot. We all had on our evening dresses, and I'm sure our parents were tired of all the music. But anyway, we had a good time, and it was a very good party. I wish we could do it again this year. 80 years is a long time, but I'm thankful that we're both still in good health and still chugging along. Happy, happy birthday, dear friend. Thank you for being such a dear friend of mine for so long. Happy birthday. Bye.
Happy birthday, Sandra. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and welcome to the 9th decade. We all made it. That's a really good thing. In fact, I made it 6 months earlier than you did. I'm so glad that Renee had the idea of having us send videos so that we could share this day with you. It'd be great if we could do it in person, but maybe later. She was hoping that we could talk about some of the things that we had shared over the years, and I was thinking there's just so many things that I'm so grateful for. And from the 1st through the 12th grades, you know, as kids, we were pretty lucky to have had this same group of classmates for all those years, and not a lot of kids have that these days, and I think that's one of the things that created such wonderful bonds between us. Lots of memories. Girl Scouts, of course, and going on the Appalachian Trail, parties and GMC dances and all those things. Even Miss Calhoun's 4th grade class, maybe that wasn't one of the best memories, but they can't all be good memories. All the talks that we had, talks about boys, talks about loves, talks about disappointments, all the things that friends share. And you were always a really good friend for me, and I hope I was for you too. One of the best memories I have is of your parents and how loving and warm and inviting they always were. And I know I share that with a lot of your friends. They were really special people. I know that after my father opened the drugstore in Gray and we bought a house over there, but I kept coming to Milledgeville to school, I had band practice one night a week, and I would come home with you and then have dinner and then supposedly go back to band practice. But sometimes we would just get to gabbing so much, I'd say, yeah, I don't think I'll skip band practice tonight. And we just kept on having a good time. I remember sometimes you went to Methodist Youth Fellowship with me, and sometimes I went to Macon with you to Jewish Sunday school, and those are really good times. Also, being able to share your bat mitzvah with you, that was such a big, important event. And I was also so honored when you asked me to be your bridesmaid. And we went to Atlanta several days ahead of time, and I remember going to luncheons and doing the pre-wedding activities. The wedding was beautiful. And I remember going to the hairdresser. You remember going to the hairdresser, and they put all that lacquer on our hair, and it was just like stiff. We could not move it. But it worked. But as soon as the festivities were over and everybody was departing, I raced back to my hotel room and I washed that all out of my hair. As I said, I think just so many things that I remember over the years, and I think it's so important that even though we've gone in different directions, diagonally across the country in my case, changed and grown up, when we get together, you know, it's all, we're still friends, and that's so nice. I also remember coming to your wedding in Atlanta and getting lost and being so stressed out because I'm directionally challenged anyway. But I guess it was excitement. I got on the wrong freeway and went miles and miles out of the way and thought, oh no, I'm gonna miss it. I did make it, but I missed the main event. But I'm so glad I got there for part of it and got to meet Bill. And then later, when Martha and I came to visit you in your home, got to meet him and visit with him again. You're such a lovely couple, and I'm so happy for you. Well, I guess I could keep on rambling a ways. You see, I did not dress up for you. I hope you don't mind. I'm just sitting out in my backyard and hoping to keep the dog from interrupting. Surprisingly, he didn't bark. I'm surprised. Anyway, I'm hoping that maybe when all this pandemic thing is over, that all of us who turn 80 can get together and we can have a belated 80th birthday party. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. I knew I could count on him. So, anyway, in the meantime, just be happy, stay healthy, wash your hands, and we will see each other again. Okay, bye-bye. Love you.
Hi, Shayna. Very happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Shayna. We're so happy for you.
That's terrific. And we just wanted to let you know that you are an amazing person, that you did something so selfless and so kind and so loving for your granddaughter and gave her a wonderful life. That is the embodiment of what is known as chesed, loving kindness. And I always think of you whenever I read that word. You've done an amazing thing in your life, and it has given your life meaning, and it's also given Renee's life meaning.
You said that so beautifully. It's everything I feel too. I'm so honored to know someone who did something so beautiful, that you really did give her life and gave her what she needed and has given her such a happy life. Thanks to you. She knows how to love and feel love and give love.
Just wishing you many more great years of great health.
I also wanted to say that you were such a wonderful, loving friend to Sonia. And if she were here, she would be wishing you happy birthday, and we all miss her. And you two are a wonderful friendship that will last forever. And we send you so many blessings for continued love in your life. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.